can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. We'll talk about your life and your money. That's 888-825-5225. Mariah is starting off this hour in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Hi, Mariah. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So one thing that I really want to celebrate is I paid off my student loans 2 days ago.
Yay!
So, yeah, that's one big milestone in my life. And I still have some debt left. I still have a car loan. And my parents have been gracious enough towards me that they've allowed me to stay at home with them so they can allow me to pay off my debt. So they've been really gracious with me with that. So both my parents know how determined I am to pay off my car loan, too. And I have left guys, like, that's what I have left. So I'll make it short for you. It's only fair to them that I help them with utilities and electric since I'm still living at home. And me and my mother have come to that agreement, and that's perfectly acceptable because I'm still living under their roof. One thing I'm not comfortable with is that she wants to charge me rent, which is fair, but the stipend is that she will hold on to that money for me in her savings account, and she won't let me put that in my savings account. So I feel like there's a trust issue there, per se. Like, she doesn't trust me with my own money, and she wants to help me out in a sense of saving it for the future. But
how old are you?
I'm 27 years old.
27. What do you make a year?
I make about $30,000 working 2 jobs. So I work 40 hours a week at my other job, and I put in about 20 hours with my part-time job. So.
You know, Maria, learning that you're 27, you know, I'm kind of split. So let me say this on the flip side. My father did the exact same thing that your mother is doing. But I was 20, you know, I was 19, 20, maybe 21 around that time. He actually, I paid him $250 a month. And by the time I moved out, he actually gave that all back to me and some to start my life off. But let me ask you a question. I want you to be honest with us. Should your mom be able to trust you? Like, are you being a good steward with your money?
I am, yeah. She wants to play a game where she's the landlord, and at the end of the game, she gives me all that money from the base rent that I've saved up over.
And I don't think that's
the day that I moved out. So,
Maria, I think you got to look at that differently. That's not a game. I think that's your mother trying to help you become a young adult. And if you've never paid rent before, you do need to know how to do that. So I would definitely take the word game out of your head and say, okay, cool. Let me just pay my mom rent, move on about your life, get out of debt, and do everything. And then just accept the fact that your mom is just trying to help you mature, help you get ready for real life. Because I'm pretty sure her rent is nowhere near what rent is actually going to be. But I would definitely say eventually I would try. Honestly, if I was you, and Dave may disagree with this, but at 27, I'm looking at how do I get out of the house, even if I do have some debt on the table.
Yeah, you need to be gone. You need to be gone in 3 months.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it would
Time
be
to
better
move out,
for me
kiddo.
Okay.
Time to move out.
Thank you for taking my call.
You're 20. You're 27 years old. It's time to move out.
Yep.
Get your job working. Get your budget on an apartment. Figure out how it's going to work. Tell mom I got about 3 months to get my act together the rest of the way, and it's time for you to move out. This is emotionally treating someone like they're 18, 17, 19 years old or whatever, and you're 27.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you need to move on. And your mom's trying to be sweet. She's trying to be helpful, but it's time for you to take that next big girl step.
Yeah.
And it'll change your life. It'll be good for you. It's going to be really hard, and it's going to be really good for you. Yeah. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thanks for joining us, America. We're with you. We're here to help. George is with us in Cincinnati. Hi, George. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, appreciate you taking my call. Just wanted to ask your advice on buying some land right now to build a house. So currently my wife and I are on baby step 6, so we're attacking our house now.
Good.
And we have about $300,000 still to pay off for our mortgage.
Mm-hmm. How quickly are you going to build?
Everything else. Well, that's the question. My wife thinks it's better to buy a lot right now and just kind of wait, kind of see how things go for the next 6 months or so. And I thought it might be, but that would be a good idea. But also maybe we do the construction a permanent loan for a better rate, so we don't have a big.
I would just
payment,
if I was going to buy land, I would buy a piece of ground in the construction loan and start building. Mm-hmm. If you're not going to, and that's just the answering the question: can I move? And the answer is yes. You're going to move. But do you start investing in land, or do you buy land that you might use 10 years from now and not pay cash for it? No, I would not. But if it's a part of making an immediate move and you're going to start building very quickly, then yeah, I would go ahead and start that process. And then, of course, your home goes on the market and sells, and you move into the new property that's being built by the new builder on the new piece of ground, whether it's a piece of land or a simple lot in a subdivision. Either one of those is fine. But this thing of, I'd like someday to maybe move, so I'm going to just go buy a lot. No, I wouldn't do that. That very seldom end up building on that lot.
No, you're absolutely right. And George, I'll put my business out there. Me and Dave talked about this about last year, and Dave was like, nah. Not unless you're going to move, Anthony. If you're not going to move, then don't do it. And thankfully, his wisdom was correct because I didn't build in that area. I actually went totally opposite of where I thought I was going to go. So I want to echo what Dave is saying. If you know you're going to move there and start the building process, do it now. But if it's down the road, things could change. Life could happen. So I would avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, they will change.
Yeah.
That's how that'll work. Open phones at 888-825-5225. And just to recap, if you're building a home, there's 3 pieces of paper that are really important. You need a budget that you and the builder are in agreement on, and it's line by line. You know what each of the categories in the budget look like, just like running a budget for a business or for your personal life. Same thing. You need a schedule. What's going to be done when? Not just what's the delivery date, but the framing is going to be this date, the trim carpentry is going to be this date, kitchen cabinets will be installed on this date. You need a schedule, and you need a blueprint, and that tells you what's being built. And you manage to the schedule, the budget, and the blueprint. This is project management. If you cannot do that with your builder, you have the wrong builder. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. joining us, America. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. William is with us in Pensacola, Florida. Hi, William. How are you?
Doing fantastic, sir. Thank you for asking.
Sure. How can we help?
Yes. So I had a quick question for you. Much similar as the same caller in her living situation. After taxes, I don't make much more than minimum wage, and I've been carrying the car loan that I have now for a little over 2 years. My question was, is it worth refinancing the vehicle to try and free up some extra money so I can afford a place to live by myself and not live with my parents anymore? Or what's the best course of action?
How much do you owe on your car?
Yeah.
What was that?
How much do you owe on your car?
I have $13,000 left.
What kind of car is it, William?
It's a 2017 Ford Focus.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 26 in March.
Okay. And why tell me about your career, because it sounds like you have an income problem.
Yes, sir. I don't have much of a career at the moment. I fell on some hard times and a troubled upbringing, so I'm just really just trying to overcome a lot of that and start making my own efforts to get into a career now.
What's preventing you from getting a solid job? I know you said hard times, but like without saying too much of the personal information, what's preventing you from getting a good quality job?
Probably experience.
Okay. Do you have any education?
I have self-taught, so it's not viewed the same, but I have enough of a generalized understanding
and
that
what are you
I
doing?
could probably take.
What are you doing right now, William, for a career?
I'm working in a college, basically intergrades.
Okay. All right. Here's my thing. I agree with Dave. You have an income problem, and you're young. And so I think right now, until you can land a solid career, and I want to connect you with our career expert, Ken Coleman. But before you go over there are two practical things you could be doing right now. You have a 2017 car, quality car. And just the other day on the show, we found Dr. John Deloney and ourselves met a young man, your age, making about $6,000 a month just off of delivering for Uber Eats and for just doing Uber, period. And so your income problem could be fixed if you're willing to really put in the work. And so if I was you with a 2017 car right now, immediately when I hang up the phone, I'm registering with Uber. You're in Florida, which is wide open. I would start driving people around on top of what you're doing, then get connected with Ken Coleman to figure out what is your sweet spot. How can you get into a career that will set you up to win? But right now, you don't even have the money to move out with your parents. You got $13,000 in debt. So we need to get your income up. And then your first priority, yes, is to get out on your own. And then we need to talk about how do we get you out of this debt and don't rack up any more debt. But today, immediately, William, I need you to kind of like, say this respectfully, step up. It's time for you to become the young man that you are and go ahead, get on an Uber, find you something you can do today that can start generating you an extra $5,000 to $1,000 a week immediately.
Yeah. I don't know what you've been facing with your hard times. Obviously we don't have that information, but the answer to your question is you only owe $13,000 on the car. If you told me it was $33,000 and you're making minimum wage, I would have said just sell the car.
Yeah.
Selling this car does not fix your situation because it's not really your problem. The fact that it's pinching you is because of your income more than it's because of the debt or the size of the car payment, that kind of a thing. And so, yeah, your issue is career, short-term and long-term. And we've got to get your income up short-term, and Anthony outlined that for you, and then long-term. So hang on, and Kelly will pick up, and we'll get you hooked up with a Ken Coleman book, The Proximity Principle, and she can also set you on his website and help you with some of the interview techniques and some of the things that he's teaching, which are absolutely fabulous.
Dave, you're a father, and I just got to ask you this question because I'm seeing this more and more with this younger generation. They're at home. They don't have a good job. And I feel as if part of that is, and a huge part of that is on the young man or the young lady. But would you agree or disagree with me that a huge part of that also is on the parent? You're allowing your son or daughter to come home to be 26, 27, 30 years old, making $30,000 a year. Like, how is that advancing them forward?
Well, yeah, I mean, mom and dad's attitude about the whole thing affects the young person's attitude as well. So if mom and dad are like, well, you know, pandemic and it's bad out there and there's no jobs and, you know, they got a negative attitude about everything. They don't see any positive way to go make money.
Yeah.
And, you know, oh, you can't do Uber because, you know, you can't be socially distanced or you can't have enough masks on or whatever. I don't know what it is. I mean, but if mom and dad are saying, well, I mean, you're screwed. You can't do anything, so you might as well live at home. Instead of saying, you step up, man up here, and let's get going, which is what you did with this guy. And so it's, you know, I grew up, one of the blessings of the household I grew up in was mom and dad were entrepreneurial. And so if you didn't have any money, it's just because you didn't have any ideas and you weren't working. So you need an idea, and you get to work on it. Because there's always a way to make money. I mean, you can walk dogs, you can mow lawns, you can clean out gutters, you can pressure wash driveways. You can, you know, I mean, teenage jobs I have done, I've shoveled out stuff out of houses that I don't even want to think about.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's all, you know, and you'd be amazed what people will pay you to do if you will bother. Go get you a leaf blower. Rich people are afraid of leaves, you know. I mean, it's you know, there's a lot of stuff that people can do, but mom and dad, my parents had that entrepreneurial spirit, and so we weren't allowed to not work.
Yes.
And B, we weren't allowed to not be dreaming about a better life while we were working.
That's good.
And instead of just like, well, the little man can't get ahead. You're just stuck. The pandemic's got you. And this generation, you just can't get anything. And you're just bad. Now, God, man, when I was your age, there was lots of opportunities. You guys ain't got any opportunities. There's nothing out there to do. And good Lord, with technology right now, you can start about 6 businesses by nightfall.
Yes. And when I hear that, Dave, I get so frustrated. And I had to ask you because...
Well, I think most parents are between. You know, they're between hard-driving entrepreneurs like mine were and, you know, Eeyore that I just painted up, right?
Yeah.
So they're somewhere between. But I think the thing mom and dad can do is speak life over this situation, speak blessings over this situation. And it's not false encouragement or false positive thinking or something like that you just dream up. It's just really believing that if you get out there and you push things around, something will fall over.
Yeah.
But I'll guarantee you it won't while you're sitting there wishing it was going to.
Yeah. Parents, we got to do better. I mean, I'm not a parent, so I can't speak to parent as a parent, but I would definitely say I am concerned with this generation, a small portion of this generation. And I get it. COVID happened. COVID was real. Jobs were real. But Dave, I've seen so many young people got creative. They went online. They started online tutoring. They went out there, started cutting people's grass because they were scared to go outside. And just last week, me and John was so shocked on Friday. This young kid, 28 years old, said, man, I made $6,000 just from doing Uber, driving people around. And I'm like, wow. And people are saying there's no way to make money right now. And there is. If you're willing to put in the work, you will do it. We want you safe. We're not saying do not be safe. But at the same time, when you step up and say, you know what, I'm going to take control over my future and I'm going to become better every single day. And you can.
Yeah. Well, and it's, you know, Lou Holtz, our buddy's 83. And what he said when he was down here last summer speaking, he said, please don't keep me alive by stopping me from living.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Something to think about.
Yes.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
healthcare has gotten to be ridiculous. It puts people, on the brink. And so it would have put us on the brink had we not had CHM. CHM saved our life, saved our financial lives.
Christian Healthcare Ministries, or CHM, is not health insurance, but it is a budget-friendly option and the original health cost-sharing ministry for Christians. Learn more today and check us out at chministries.org. That's chministries.org.
Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Ferg and Chelsea are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey,
Doing
good.
great.
Good to
Welcome,
see
you guys. Where do y'all live?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Well, welcome to Nashville. And all the way over here to do a debt-free scream.
Heck
Yes,
yes!
I love it, love it, love it. How much have you guys paid off?
We have paid off $147,268.79.
Love it. How long did this take?
3 years, 10 months, and 8 days.
3 years and 10 months and 8 days. Man. And your range of income during that 3 years and 10 months and 8 days?
Mid-30s to 122,000.
Goodness.
That's a bit of a jump.
Yeah.
A bit.
Well, tell us your story. What happened and how'd that income go up so fast?
Well, we got married about 5 years ago in May.
Yeah.
Then we had some family stuff happen. Sorry. Already happening. Woo! Just some family drama. Some disagreements when it comes to money, including family drama. Mm-hmm. And we're like, all right, Lord, we need to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah.
We jumped into a church, High Church of the Move family.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys. And we got invited to be a part of a FPU group, like right after like a month or two after moving back to Tulsa. Mm-hmm. And we jumped in, and we haven't had any money fights since we jumped in. So we got on the same page, and that's what started the journey.
Mm. So some of the drama was between you two.
Not completely. Not really.
No, I know it wasn't all of it, but some of it.
No, it was. We got married in May, and it was like a whirlwind. I graduated from grad school the same month. And then I moved out here. Not out here. I moved out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he was already living there. So it was a big jump for me to join him there. And I just got my degree, so it's like the next steps in getting licensed and everything.
So what's your grad school? What's your grad work in?
We both have mental health therapist backgrounds.
Okay,
so,
great.
Yeah, so I was working on.
So thus the jump in income.
Yeah.
So you both got into your careers. What it amounted to?
I was already a therapist at the time, but it was a community-based job, which is you're driving around to see your clients, and it was basically work-based. Like what you bill is what you get paid from. And as a single dude that really wasn't gazelle intense on his debt, he was just like, okay, I'll just pay off debt as I can, but I'm not really going after it or anything like that. So. And then when she moved out and we jumped into FPU, it was like, okay, we need to really look at, and I was praying, okay, God, how do we get a bigger shovel? Because he keeps talking about getting a bigger shovel. I have no idea what to do with that. And on the emotional side of things, we're also just trying to stay afloat, mentally, emotionally because of some of the stuff that was going on.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like your church was a real lifeline.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If it wasn't for that, God totally lined up all of the steps there, because our first week together there, we were like, we want to find a church, and we had both had previous experiences there. So we went, and there was another couple that the Lord had waiting for us there to pray with us about finding a home. And they were like, hey, we're around the same age. We're in the same situation as you for the most part. And let's like partner together. And would you guys like to come to FPU with us? We're going to lead that starting tomorrow night.
Whoa!
Yeah. So it was a real quick turnaround of, hey, okay, we didn't plan to do that, but that sounds like a good idea.
This is right after a conversation we had the night before about, okay, we got to figure out what we're doing with money because we're not on the same page as far as grocery bills and how much we're spending on groceries, and
We don't know how to budget together.
yeah, and so
This whole brand new marriage thing.
yeah.
Absolutely. The 147 that you all had, I'm assuming that it was student loans, majority
Yes.
of them?
Yeah,
All
there was like 3,000 that was taxes from
yeah.
a year or
That's
two
good there.
ago.
Okay.
So we just threw that in the snowball, and
So with your age bracket, because we're in the same age bracket here, and I'm always curious to ask young people what was the hardest thing on this journey, and to the millions of young people listening to us right now, what do you say is the one key ingredient to really changing around your financial life?
I would say the hardest part is not getting discouraged when, you are doing something with purpose. Every step, every day that goes by is not a wasted day. So the hardest part is you're not going to know anybody else, most likely, that's doing what you're doing. And so, and we had the most debt even in our FPU group. And so we were kind of the only ones still, even with that group, that were really going through it as long as we were.
Dave,
So,
you have no idea. Like, we're sitting there on that it's like the first or second week of FPU, and it's like, this is what the total debt is for the whole group.
Yeah.
And we like tripled everybody else's.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, Lord. And we were so embarrassed for a second, but then it was also like, okay, no, it's okay. It's okay. We can just have the best story out of the whole group.
slay the biggest dragon. It's fine.
Yeah, having a testimony is a good thing. Getting one's a pain in the butt.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done, you guys. Well done.
To answer your question, though, about like what was the thing that really helped us get us through, honestly, it was Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah.
It was totally Jesus. I mean, every step
Yeah.
was like there was this next step for us. It's like, hey, we know that you're going through some stuff with some family and some family issues, but here's a lifeline, whether it be our small group. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate you. We really love you. Whether it be our employers, Empowered Life, Elisa, Charles, thank you so much for the opportunity. Preferred Family Healthcare in Day Spring, thank you guys so much. We got to negotiate for a raise.
Yeah.
We got a raise.
Tulsa Sunshine Center. It's where I work, and actually during the 2020 pandemic, everybody had to go home, and it was kind of one of those loosely held, hey, we don't know what to do, but maybe if you guys can try to get some some telehealth going, go for it. So we were so close to the end. It was this past summer, and I was just like, well, we're so close. We don't want to slow down our getting out of debt, and all of the interest payments halted and everything with all the student loans. So we were like, what can we do? So I started getting all of my clients to telehealth really quickly. I was one of the first ones. I think I was the first one in the whole company that got as many telehealth sessions going as quickly as I did.
So instead of finding an excuse not to work, you were desperate to work.
Oh, she crushed it.
Yeah,
She crushed
and
it.
because of that, there was an unforeseen blessing that came from that, because a few months later, the owner was like, hey guys, we're going to offer this bonus basically for whoever can bring in the most income for the company during this time, and I got the bonus. And that's what put us over the edge.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That was a really good feeling. Like, we're gonna pay off the last loan with this bonus.
Yeah.
Because we were doing some gazelle intense stuff. It was
So
just
now
fun.
you've been through 3 years and 10 months and 8 days of real transformation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot has gone on in your life during this time. Money's a piece of it, but there's a lot has gone on.
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
I would never want to live it again, but I would never want to have lived without it, without that journey. Yeah.
One of the things about our Bible verse comes out of James, where it talks about when you have persevered through all of these tests, you will receive the crown of life that God has promised. And like my family, we have a Scottish background, and our motto is sweetness out of difficulties. And it was like, yes, we just really leaned into that. Who better for it?
Yeah.
God, who better for it? We're going to jump in on this. And we have grown closer. We've communicated better.
Yeah.
Through all this stuff. And it's just really awesome to have somebody kind of, in your corner, fighting with you, tag teaming with you. That's like, we're heading in the same direction, and we're on the same goal.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. That's definitely the next chapter in your story. You guys are incredible. It's an honor to speak with you, and thank you for making the trip all the way over from Tulsa to do your debt-free scream.
Thank you, Dave.
Well done. All right, it's Ferg and Chelsea. They paid off $147,000 in 3 years, 10 months, and 8 days, making 30 up to 122. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
We're That's what 3 years and 10 months sounds like right there, man.
Oh,
that
man.
wasn't. We did this in 14 days. This is 3 years and 10 months and 8 days.
Man.
They are persevering people. They scratched and clawed and scrapped. So proud of you guys.
Absolutely.
Very well done. So proud of you. Wow. Amazing. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You got free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more.
Dave, our question comes from Deidre in Tennessee. My husband and I had $16,000 in student loans when he graduated 2 years ago, and now we only have $8,000 left. I love it. We have been paying even during the moratorium to pay down the principal, so we are ahead of payments by quite a bit. Awesome. We are reading in the news that Congress might write off $10,000 of everyone's student loan debt. Should we keep paying to take advantage of the no interest at this time, or stop paying and wait to see what they will do? If you're going to wait to see if the Congress is going to do something, you are going to be disappointed. I'm not saying 100% guarantee it won't happen, but here's the thing. In my history, I've never seen it. So if I was in your shoes, I'm paying it off. I'm not stopping. I'm not waiting for the Congress.
You know, if you wait on Washington to fix your life's always going to suck. This is a good rule. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I mean, I have no idea. There's no way of knowing. I was pretty sure a few months ago, but the political climate has shifted, and the power structure has shifted, and so it's possible that they run this through. I don't know. I never dreamed I would see it in my lifetime, but I've seen a whole lot of stuff in my lifetime I never dreamed I would see in my lifetime.
Right.
So I don't... if I were in your shoes, I agree. Because I'm not going to wait to fix my life on Washington to save me.
Right.
And so it's just a bad plan. And again, they may turn around by the end of summer, and you may go, "I hate Dave Ramsey. Just cost me $10,000." But
and I hate Anthony O'Neill. But
you'd have to be on the same list, Joe.
I mean, this is real. I mean, this is my suggestion.
Well, I was agreeing with you. So there you go. Okay. Either way, pay it off, dude.
Yeah.
Listen, folks, I'm always going to tell you pay off your loans.
Yeah.
All right. We're just always going to tell you you have to control the controllables. Let me tell you what you can't control: Congress. You can't control the president. And what you can control is paying off the loan. So control the controllables and build you a life.
Okay.
And that's your best plan.
So now let me ask you this question, Dave. I think I know your answer, but it's fair to ask it. So what if they just say, you know what, since there's no interest, what if I just put that money to the side for the next 4 months while there is no interest?
I'm just not going to try to game the system.
Right. Got you.
Every time people try to game stuff is when they get screwed. And it's when it doesn't work out for them. And so let me tell you what would happen some percentage of the time. We throw $10,000 in an account. We're sitting around waiting. We really hadn't been aggressive about paying off the student loan. We let our foot off the gas. We're not really budgeting tight. And, man, I sure did need that bass boat. Go buy the bass boat. Congress says, you know what? We can't get that student loan thing through. And you're still sitting there staring at a dadgum paid-for bass boat.
Right.
with your money you should have used to pay off your student loan. This is what happens. Then you end up in coaching, one of our coaching offices somewhere, and people are going, you did what? And you're going, yeah, I know, I was so stupid. And we all have these moments where we did something, but it always comes around trying to scam, trying to scheme, trying to run the system somehow. I'm going to run the system. I'm going to beat the system. And don't beat the system. Pay off your debt.
Yeah.
Just don't, there's no shortcut to any place that's worth going. Abby's in Madison, Wisconsin. Hi, Abby. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I'm a 21-year-old college student about to graduate in the spring.
Congratulations. What's your degree in?
Fisheries and water resources.
Cool.
So long story short, I'll be getting an inheritance of about $150,000. I'm on baby step 2, and I only have about $24,000 in student loans is my only debt, which I'm planning to pay off with that inheritance.
Good.
As well as save that 3 to 6 month emergency fund.
Good.
But my question is, what should I do? I want to invest the rest, or at least part of it. What would be the best plan for that?
I would just sit down with one of our SmartVestor pros and start learning about some of the mutual funds. It may be, I'm going to guess and say some of that, the balance of that money after the debt is paid and the emergency fund's in place, that in the next 2 or 3, 4 years, you're probably going to be in a situation where you buy a home.
Yeah.
And at that, you've gotten started on your career, you've gotten your income up, you're doing good, and, we're going to move from rental to home ownership at some point, like 25 years old or whatever. And you may use that money to do that with. And so it doesn't need to be invested in something volatile. It needs to be invested in something kind of boring and steady. So even like what's called an S&P 500 index fund might be good for that shorter term down payment investment. Because I'm kind of calling this down payment money right now in my head, listening to you.
Yeah.
But sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, click SmartVestor at DaveRamsey.com. It'll drop down a list of the SmartVestor pros in your area. They'll teach you, and you need to learn. You don't need to do it because Anthony said do it, and you don't need to do it because I said do it. You do it because you understand it, and you're investing, and you're being careful and wise, and you know what you're doing, and someone with the heart of a teacher, like one of these SmartVestor pros, has led you through the process.
Yeah. Yeah. Great advice, Dave. I have nothing to add to it. That was beautiful.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you feel like you will never save enough money or pay off all your debt after a year like 2020, sometimes people feel the same way. It was kind of a hope-stealing year, wasn't it? Money should not be one more thing that you have to worry about. That's why for 2021, we're hitting reset. Because no matter what's happening in the world, you can take control of your money. You just need the right plan. Ramsey Plus is our step-by-step plan where you get quick wins, and that means you can finally start spending and saving your money without worry and get the security that you need. Ramsey Plus includes, of course, Financial Peace University, the Every Dollar budgeting app, the premier version, and many, many, many other tools. It is chock full, and they will show you step by step, day by day, week by week, what to do for the first 90 days and get you a quick start. And you will never be out of control again. You can do a free trial at Ramsey Plus. Just go to DaveRamsey.com/reset. Tanya is with us in Hartford, Connecticut. Hi, Tanya. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I am 45 years old, and I'm currently on baby step 6, so I'm looking to pay off my home by the fall of 2022. This will be about 6 months before my oldest graduates high school, and I really have to thank Financial Peace University for helping me with this journey as I became really gazelle intense since 2017.
Cool.
So before COVID, this goal was a reality. However, with COVID and the additional income I would normally generate, it would be now an additional year before I could accomplish this goal. So my concern is that I have another son who will be graduating after my oldest, so I'll have 2 back-to-back in college.
Ouch.
So I'm looking... Yes. I'm looking for ways for me to meet this goal. So I am considering lowering my 401k, my Roth contribution to do so, or maybe withholding it temporarily. I also face some medical bills that weren't anticipated during the past year that I had to take care of. So right now I am putting about $2,000 more a month towards the principal, but realistically I'll need another $900 a month to get the house paid off in that time. So should I hold off on contributing to my 401k to be able to accomplish this?
You have outstanding debt right now on medical?
It's only probably about $500 more.
Okay, so you're going to knock that out like this month.
Yes. Yeah.
But you're not paying any extra on your house while you have that.
I won't then.
Yeah, no, you need to clear your debts. You're back in baby step 2.
Yeah.
You got to clear those debts. Do you have an emergency fund?
Oh, absolutely. So I only
How
have
much is in
$500 more. It's about $12,000.
Okay, you should have just written a check out of that and paid your medical. That's what it's for. But anyway, we clear the medical. Would I stop my IRA temporarily to get the house paid off to cash flow college? Might in this case for a very short period of time. It's really stopping the baby steps is what we're doing. You're changing them. And hold on, we're going to send you a copy of Anthony's book, Debt Free Degree, because they need to be working to help get to college cheaper.
Yes, sir.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Debt Free Degree, is my co-host today. Open phones as we talk to you about your life and your money. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Kayla is with us in Provo, Utah. Hi, Kayla. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I just had a question. My husband and I are getting ready to save up for a down payment on our first house.
Mm-hmm.
We make roughly $60,000 to $65,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
When I plugged it into your calculator online, it said that with a 40% down payment, we could afford about a $280 home. However, where we are at, there's really no homes that start until about $300,000. And I was wondering, what are your suggestions for us as we're trying to save for our first house?
Well, I think to say that there are no homes in Provo, Utah, below $300,000 would be an inaccurate statement.
We are more in rural Utah. Provo's kind of our closest big city. So when I looked at what I've been looking just for the past while, just for fun, and it looks like the ones that are around $250,000, kind of more our price range, are more like your trailer homes and whatnot.
Okay. I think you've just begun your quest. You're in the early stages of gathering information. So, I do not know that market extremely well in the sense that I can just quote numbers to you on what they're worth. The average home price in America is $225,000.
Right.
And that does not trailer homes. Okay, that's the average in America. And the average household income in America is $59,000. So that's right where you are. I mean, that's your $60,000 income, and you're looking at a $250,000 house, give or take, up to about a $300,000. So I think you're just on at the beginning stage of the process. And generally, for your first home, what you're doing is you're looking for a starter home. You're not looking for a mansion. And and so I think you're going to keep scratching and digging and looking at a lot of properties, and it may take you a little while to find the deal that does fit your numbers. But here's the thing. You cannot get in the business anywhere in your money situation of saying, oh, well, it costs that much and I don't have that much, so I'm going to do it anyway because math doesn't really count in my situation. Math counts in every situation. Math works in California, it works in Utah, and it works in New York City. It even works in Tokyo, and one of the most expensive real estate markets in the world, and you can't afford to live there. So not even rent with your income. So you just don't get a pass on math because of your situation. So you're either going to watch your incomes come up, or you're going to find a bargain, and you're going to shop around and learn a little bit more. The interesting thing about real estate is that there's always another one.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And one thing I'm going to say on this one too, Dave, let's just say that it's the case. You cannot find a house within your budget. Then that means you're not getting a house right now until you can find one that's in your budget. And there's nothing wrong with renting until you either get your income up or until you find a house that is within your means.
Well, and again, real estate that's the most fun about the real estate business is there's always something.
Yeah.
You just keep scratching around, turning over rocks, something will run out.
Foreclosure, something, man.
Yeah, something that needs a little paint, a little work, and your father-in-law, your husband jump in there, and you jump in there, and you put a paintbrush on those. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of ways to get at this, and but just to go, well, it's just too expensive, and so math doesn't count. Yeah. Math counts.
Yeah.
Man, you don't get a pass on it. Hope that helps. Yeah. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ryan's in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hey, Ryan, what's up?
Hey, Dave, I just got a question. So my girlfriend's currently in college, going to be a PA, and I finally introduced her to Dave, yourself, about paying off college and all that. But I currently have no debt or nothing. I just bought a house in September. And I'm thinking, because this is the girl I'm going to marry, because I dated her for 6 years, freshman year in high school. It's just, I'm not going to pay anything until we're married, like you say. But do I save to pay that off, or do I add the extra money to my home loan right now?
All right, man. Ryan, let me help you out here. Dave may give you a different thing. Talk to me a little bit. How old are you, Ryan?
I'm 21.
How old is your girlfriend?
She's 21 as well.
Boy, y'all young. All right, so I like how you're thinking about the future, but I want you to stay with you right now. All right. And so my thing is, I want you to work the baby steps for you. Don't stop the baby steps for a potential down the road. All right. And I'm telling you that because I wish somebody would have told me that when I was your age at 21 years old. I hear your heart for this young lady. I pray that y'all do get married and have all the dreams that you desire. But there is a strong possibility that it may not work. All right. So what I want you to do is attack the baby steps for yourself. So if you're paying off, things on your end, you do that. OK. And then wait down the road for them.
It's good advice. Anthony, let me ask you this. If when he gets engaged, would you change that?
It gets engaged. Will I change that? No, that's just me personally.
Well, you wouldn't save up money to pay off the coming debt from the bride?
No,
I would.
You would?
Yeah.
Because in this generation,
when you have a date, when you're engaged, and it's your fiance, and you have a date set, and you say she's got $60,000 worth of debt, I'm going to pile up cash to get ready for that during that 6 or 8 months or whatever before we get married. Now, I'm not talking about vague engagement that we may get married someday and we just call it my fiance, and we really are just not even. I'm talking about a set wedding date. And, within a reasonable period of time, and I'm going to get ready for that. So when we come home from the honeymoon, because we've often told grooms to pile up, or brides to pile up cash.
To pay for the wedding.
And to pay, upon coming home from the honeymoon, pay off her debt. Or pay on her debt. Or
Here's
whatever.
The only reason why I would say no. But I'm rocking with you. I understand what you're saying. Only because this generation, they say yes today, and then they're done tomorrow, and they pause their whole life.
Well, then you would take the cash and throw it at the house.
Exactly. That's why I said I'm rocking with you.
Yeah, but if there's an engagement, I would not do it at this stage.
Gotcha.
Like, in his mind, it's inevitable. She ain't said yes. Yeah. So and even after she has, it's not inevitable.
Right.
So there we go. But yeah, that's your point. But,
all the young people out there looking at me like, I actually agree with you, Anthony.
We're taking a poll from the studio audience, and Anthony wins. Okay. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Anthony O'Neill joining us. He is the author of the #1 best-selling book, Debt-Free Degree. Be sure and check his stuff out at YouTube. He's got a show called The Table that is incredible. New episodes every Monday, and you can check them out on YouTube. The Table with Anthony O'Neill. All kinds of cool guests and
conversations like this.
Yeah, except I'm not been allowed on there. So this is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Thanks for joining us, America. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Have you ever made a dumb decision with zeros on the end because you didn't do your research? Yeah, me too. Most people make choices based on feelings or opinions, especially when they're buying a home, but this is a bad idea. And when it comes to the real estate market, feelings are not your friend. Facts are. So check your facts. Find out what you can actually afford. Research what's trending in home prices. Talk to a reputable real estate agent in your area. Never buy a house without the facts. Text HOUSE to 33789. That's HOUSE to 33789, and we'll help you connect up with an agent. You know, that's really what we should have told that young lady from Provo.
We should have.
That she could get with an agent who would help her navigate that market instead of just bouncing around on websites and Zillow and everything else trying to figure out what's going on and then declaring that trailer homes are the only thing under $250.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good agent can help her navigate that and go, yeah, but there are these little neighborhood over here, and there's you can move out there, and you go 10 miles that way, and they know the nuances of the market and can help move you in and out of those, and that makes a big difference. Thing is this, if you're going to buy a property, and you've been through this a couple of times, and I've bought a lot of real estate over the years, but I'm looking at a property right now, vacation home situation.
Yep.
And what I've done is I have actually, I'm such a nerd, I enjoy the research. And so I go to every neighborhood, look at every house, start looking at the square footages, start looking at what drives prices in those areas, start looking at the square foot price, look at the features and what is it that's in that market, what's different and what's new, and just learn the way people think when they're doing that market, because that's what drives prices.
Yes.
And then you start to figure out, okay, well, they're paying for prestige in that neighborhood. Okay. In that neighborhood, they're paying for the access to the beach. In that neighborhood, they're paying, and you can see what's the different things are moving around in the market, and you just begin. But all that comes from options and options and studying and studying and studying and studying. So you don't look at 3 houses and buy a house. You don't go on 3 dates and get married.
Right.
So you need to go and look at some property. And not just online, because I got to tell you, man, some of these people taking pictures are really good with their picture taking. And when you get there, you're going, what? Is this the same house?
No.
Yeah. And you got to be kidding me. How'd that backyard shrink that much? And so, that camera angle worked on that one. Yeah. So it's just like, that girl's not that pretty. So there you go. And
Dave, that's a good one right there, Dave. I like that.
You just get in there and you go visit the properties, and you begin to you start to figure out what's driving the pricing.
Yes.
The location, the traffic, the school. What is it what's the big draw? that's making this property. Okay, well, what if I move 25% off of that issue, and I move over here? Well, maybe schools aren't important to you. Maybe you're retired.
Yeah.
My Shih Tzu does not need to go to school.
Right.
So I'm pretty good on school systems. I couldn't give a rip less on where the school system is from my personal residence, because I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be having any kids go to school there. So that's not a driving point. But so if school's driving the price up, then I'm probably not in that neighborhood.
Nope. Yeah.
Unless there's some other reason for me to be in there. But, I mean, that's not my motivator is my point. So you just start to look at things through that lens and do your dadgum research.
Yeah. And if you know you're not good at doing the research, that's why you reach out to one of our pros, and they will do all the research for you.
Well, and they'll take you around. I mean, you need to get your arms around what's happening.
Yes.
And the pro can guide you in doing that. I don't want somebody else to do your thinking for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But the you need to... you need a test drive. I mean, same thing with a car. You don't just go buy a car you've never driven.
Absolutely not.
I mean, never driven that model. Now, if I've driven that make and model and everything else, and I know the car inside and out, then I don't have to drive it to buy it. I mean, understand, I'm fine. Just deliver the thing. It's okay. But if you've never driven
that kind of car,
a pickup, that particular model, don't go buy one until you've driven it. I mean, that's common sense.
Yeah.
And yet people get all wired up and fired up emotionally and jump on stuff and start making all these assumptions about, well, it's just the way it is in our world. You don't understand. You're a boomer. You don't get it.
Yeah.
So, but turns out I do. Go figure. Kelly's with us in Seattle. Hey, Kelly, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
So my husband and I are in baby step number 2. We have a total of 3 mortgages. So we have the home that we currently live in, and then we have 2 rental properties, both with mortgages on them. And one of the homes is older, and we're trying to debate on whether or not we sell that one.
Okay. Why did you tell me it was older? Does that mean you probably wouldn't care?
As soon as we
it would be like it's not the one you would keep because it's probably not a great property over the next 10 years. Is that why you told me it was older?
As soon as we committed to the baby steps and the saving and setting aside, we had the savings in there. Everything
broke.
Everything started breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the law of Financial Peace University. As soon as you start the class, your transmission goes out. I mean, it's just the way it is, yeah. Oh,
it
man.
really is. That's what happened.
I'm sorry. Well, so the question is, what's the house that you're thinking about selling worth?
About $325,000.
Okay. And what do you owe on it?
$127,000.
And how much debt do you have?
So we are we have $20,000 we owe on our truck and $26,000 we owe on our tractor.
Okay, so 50.
We've since November 1st, we've paid off $15,000 that was in credit card debt.
Okay, the $350,000 old house where stuff's breaking. All of this discussion aside, if you just put that house in your mind and you go, 10 years from now, is the 10 year now from now Kelly happy with the current Kelly for keeping that house?
I don't know. It was my husband and I got it. I have a lot of emotional attachment to it.
That wasn't what I asked. What I asked is, 10 years from now, are you going to be really feeling wise, smart, happy because you kept this house?
If we stay on track, yes.
Okay. Then I'd probably keep it and just work your way through.
Okay.
But I mean,
okay.
I've owned things that I look out into the future me and I'm going, the future me thinks the current me's stupid if I don't get rid of this thing. You know, I mean, you can kind of look at it and think that, right? And that might not be true on this house, and it sounds like it's not, so that's cool. But, I mean, I look at some of the stuff and I'm going, I'm just going to throw that away. Why have I been storing that for 2 years? You know, that just needs to leave. I need to have a minimalist moment here and start cleaning out crap, you know, because we're all pack rats in our lives, and you can do that with big items, and you can do that with investments, and you can do it with all kinds of things. And just go, just because you've got it doesn't mean you have to keep it.
I agree.
Look into the future and go. But it sounds like that the future you's happy with you for keeping it. So I'm fine with that too. That's an okay answer. Then you would keep it and you would go forward.
Nah, Dave, it sounds like she's happy keeping it because of the emotional tie, not because of the financial investment. I think she's really tied to this house emotionally.
Okay. Well, that would be a mistake then if that's the only reason. But
right.
I'm guessing too that it's probably. I mean, it's $350,000 huge house. It's not a
huge
house.
Yeah.
Not a bad house at all.
Yeah.
So this is not a slumlord here.
No, it's not.
So I'm thinking the thing's got to be making some money.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Hope
She got good equity in it too. So
yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of counting on her.
Right. I see.
To manage her emotions and her financial.
There you go.
By looking into the future. That was my play there. I don't know if it worked, but that was my play. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today here on the air. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Roger is with us. Hey, Roger, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. Good to have you. Where do you live?
San Francisco.
Oh, wow. Bit of a trip over to Tennessee.
Yeah, but I definitely had to come out and try out these fresh cookies that you kept mentioning on the show.
Well, they are a pretty good bait. They will lure in lots of people, I've noticed.
Yes.
So you're here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
$51,000 and $51,092.
And how long did it take you?
Take me 16 months.
16 months. Way to go. And your range of income during that time?
About $76,000 to $93,000.
Very good. What do you do for a living?
I'm a health and safety consultant for a workers' compensation company.
Oh, very good. Okay. So what kind of debt was the $51,000?
Yeah, so I had about $6,000 left on my car, about $7,500 from a debt consolidation from previous credit cards, and then the rest of it actually was all spread amongst like 5 other different credit cards. So one of the main reasons why I wanted to come up here and do this debt-free scream is because I didn't really find a lot of other people that didn't have, that weren't working to pay off debt that wasn't any student loans. So, I felt a little bit embarrassed that, a lot of that wasn't student loans because everyone else I've heard had it. But, I was just a really bad consumer. But it's great to finally own up to it and, finally have it all paid off.
I love it. Well, this is the completion of the healing. I love it. Well, congratulations, sir.
How old are you, Roger?
33 years old.
Man, what was the hardest thing throughout this process?
For me, the hardest thing was just saying no. So many of my friends just wanted to keep enabling me, and I'm not the kind of person that likes to say no. And so that was just the biggest part. And then really the other second part thing was really just trying to build up momentum and sticking to the budget, I think was the really difficult part.
So what happened that caused you to decide to do this? What was the process?
So I basically had my I've had it moment. And so being in San Francisco, I actually had the opportunity to interview for something in Los Angeles. At this point, my finances had kind of caught up to me, and I was kind of starting to feel the weight of it. And so instead of shelling out for a flight, I decided to take a bus, and then I said that I would rent a car to go to the job interview, come back, and then take the bus back home. So I took the bus, I got to the rental car, but I noticed that in my wallet, I only had the credit card that I had already maxed out. And so going to the credit card company, I knew that they weren't going to accept that credit card because it's maxed out. And so when I got there, I told them that, I didn't have any credit card or any money in like a debit card to possibly do the rental. And then they swiped it, and then it said denied. And so I was kind of in a pinch. And so luckily my Uber app still had my other credit card that wasn't maxed out saved on there. And I was able to do the job interview and then come back. But I was just so embarrassed, and I felt like I needed to do a change. And so that night, when I got back, I added up everything, and I found out just how much actual consumer debt I had, and I was really scared. And so, I had Google searched, debt consolidation, and like how to get out of debt, and obviously, Dave Ramsey shows up, and so that's how I started that journey 16 months ago.
Good for you. Well done. Well done. Yeah, there's a lot of emotions that are gross. Embarrassment might be one of the most gross ones. I can't stand especially when it's my fault. That's just awful. Yeah, and I've been right exactly in that situation where you get, the card denied, and you can't move around, you're stuck, and man, that broke feeling. And so I was traveling a little while back, and we're staying in this really nice resort, and I walk up the counter, and my card had apparently hit the algorithm, and my debit card had hit the algorithm for fraud. And so the bank had shut it down unbeknownst to me. So I go up there, and I can't check into this hotel. Now I've got plenty of money, but that activated these emotions down inside. Remember when I was broke, and I could, and the embarrassment of not being able to do that. And I got so mad. Oh yeah. And all it was that those old emotions from being broke and being embarrassed were down inside of me. And I had to call the banker back and apologize after I called her the first time. And so about my dadgum card getting cut off for no freaking reason, and they'll leave me stranded out here. So yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah. That'll get you going. And you definitely had a never again moment, didn't you?
Definitely, yeah.
Very cool. So you found us on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Dave.
You're fine.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. So you walked through all this embarrassment. You paid off all this debt. How do you feel now? Like, I'm just so curious about that. Like, you have a lot of energy on stage right now. Yeah. So I'm like, how do you feel? What's next for this young man?
It's still a very surreal feeling. It's really weird. Like, I think one of the things that gets to me is sometimes I'll hop in my car, start driving to work, and then I just think, like, I actually own this whole car. It's hard for me to just embrace that idea, like this whole thing is the reason why I have like a positive net worth right now, So, instead of knowing that, the bank is going to be asking me for more money, being upside down or something like that. But then also the other thing is, it's very true what you guys mentioned is that, it feels like I have a raise now, because now that I've learned to budget, now I know how to plan for my money. I'm not rich, obviously, but I definitely feel like there's a lot more than I can afford now. And I know that, Dave, you say, right now you're better than you deserve, but right now I feel like I can afford what I deserve now, and so
amen.
That's really like how it feels right now.
It's a sense of power. That's very good. Good for you.
I like that statement. We may need to steal that. I can afford what I deserve.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, and if you can't afford it, you don't deserve it.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well done.
Yeah,
well done. So the credit cards are all cut up. Will you ever go back in debt?
Oh no, it was great because I planned this whole trip with my debit card, and then also made sure to go dollar to get our car rental, and I did it with a debit card, so it felt really nice to know that I was still secure with debit card, just like you said.
Yeah, when you go into the Nashville airport with Dollar, with us endorsing them, they definitely know what's going on. They got it figured out for sure there. So well done, guys. Well done. Man, I'm proud of you. That's just beautiful. We've got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires, and that's the next chapter in your story for real. And we're very well done. Proud of you.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. If you don't mind, I'd actually like to thank my biggest cheerleader, actually.
Yeah. Who's that?
So my biggest cheerleader is my now fiance, Monica, who made the trip all the way out here to Nashville with me.
All right.
It's actually funny because I was maybe like a year into the plan, and I was trying to go Dave-ish instead by creating a sinking fund to actually save for her engagement ring. And then when she found out about that, she's like, "What would Uncle Dave say?" And then like, okay, I guess I'll just throw that actually towards my debt, and that's the reason why I was able to get out faster than I originally planned. So
I like her.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. You need to teach other young ladies like yourself. Yeah.
And then the biggest thing about her cheering for me was we were only together for maybe 3 or 4 months before I really came out to tell her about how much debt I actually had. And knowing that she was willing to put off a lot of that honeymoon feeling of spending money in the early goings of a relationship, and her sticking with me through that to where I am now today. I just really want to thank her for not having those fancy dates that most other people might usually have. And so
yeah, and in San Francisco they're not cheap either.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well done, sir. Proud of you. Good work. All right, Roger from San Francisco, $51,000 paid off in 16 months, making 76 to 93. It was everything. He was normal, and now he's weird. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt free!
Way to go, man. Way to go. That's awesome. Woo. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Brian is in Syracuse, New York. Hi, Brian. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good afternoon, Dave. Thanks for giving me some of your time here this afternoon.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, I got a question for you. Luckily, my financial advisor was already on a similar mindset as yourself before I'd started listening to you. My wife and I recently had purchased a home in 2020, and we also had a baby the month prior to that. So we were already on the debt snowball method. We have about $119,000 in what I'll refer to as bad debt, student loans and vehicles. And then our home mortgage is about $137 remaining at the moment. So my question to you is, we have about $10,000 in savings. Do you think, with the debt snowball method, 1,000 of that should be going to savings and 9 towards debt? My wife has a little apprehension about that. Should we be putting 9,000 to 10 towards our debt, or should we keep that to the side now that we have a baby? And then the second tier to that question is, with our tax return coming up now with a home and a baby, hopefully a good return back, should we also be putting that all towards student loan debt?
I mean, absolutely, Brian. This is Anthony. And I understand, both you and your wife's hesitation and why. But baby step 1 was not made, and baby step 2 was not made to be comfortable. 1 and 2. We want you to be uncomfortable so you can get out of it quicker. And so, yes, I was in your shoes. I didn't have 6 figures of debt, but I had a lot of debt, and I put all of my savings towards it. I put all of the extra income towards it. I even put my tax return towards it as well. I mean, what you'll see is that when you really get gazelle intense, when you really get focused, you all would get out of it much quicker and get to your baby step 3, which is 3 to 6 months. So I would absolutely put all of your money, all of your extra money towards it. Now, let's say something happens to the baby and you need to pause that. That is totally okay. We want you to take care of your family and protect your family. But at the same time, right now, if everything's going well, yes, attack it fiercely and put all extra money towards it.
What's your household income?
I would say our household income's around a 130 to 150. My wife's a teacher, and I work in outside medical sales. So in the last 12 to 18 months, my income's increased about 30% now that I'm actually in the industry a little bit longer and I've built a client base.
Mm-hmm.
So, getting back to my initial comment, about a year and a half ago, we started the debt snowball method with my financial advisor. Then I started listening to you, oddly enough, right when we had our baby. Now that I work from home, I had Sirius XM on, and a lot of his mindset aligns with yours. We already had term life insurance. We were already on the debt snowball method. But, now that I've got more income, we have more savings, which is great.
So you said your total consumer debt on the car and the student loans, whatever, was what, 119?
Yes, we've got 2 vehicles, and then our student loan debt combined.
Yeah, what do you owe on the vehicles?
The vehicles is about 18 and 15, so about 33 to 35,000 between the 2 of us.
Okay, that's good news. All right. Well, here's the thing. I try to do just big math, big chunk math, I call it, and say, okay, I make 130, heading towards 150. If I pay 60,000 of that towards debt because I'm unbelievably intense and focused, then I'm done in 2 years.
Right.
And I just look at it, that helps me to get my head around, okay, I'm not suggesting that you walk around with a baby and raise a family with $1,000 in the bank as your way of life over the next decade, but as a short-term mechanism to be all in, to be committed beyond belief. And a little bit of that is what Anthony says is the fear of not having that money. But 10,000 is not going to help you anyway. It's not. I mean, that's a small emergency too. So it'll help more than not having it. But it's yeah, when you can see that we're going to do this and we're going to do this with great focused intensity, and it's going to be 24 months and we're going to be done, or it's going to be 19 months and we're going to be done, or whatever the number ends up being, then you can go, okay, I can hold my breath that long. And then when we don't have any payments but a house payment, oh my goodness. Then you put that emergency fund in place in an eye blink. Doesn't take time at all.
Yes.
Because you're used to living on nothing. And you're used to pouring everything on that debt, and you turn and pour it onto that emergency fund. That baby step 3 usually goes really fast for people because they got so much momentum.
Yes.
And they've been living on nothing.
Coming off that high of paying off your debt, now you want to see all that money in your savings account. Man, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's very good. Very good. Good job, man. Well done, and congrats on the new baby. Zach is in Marion, Illinois. Hi, Zach. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Just had a quick question for you. Started listening to you about a month ago. My wife and I are on baby step 2. We have about $21,000 in debt that I should have paid off by late summer.
Good.
But my bigger issue is we made the mistake about 6 years ago. My wife and I bought a manufactured home and actually put it on some land that we owned. At the time, it seemed like a good idea, but now that I'm a little older, realizing that it was probably a terrible idea, and it's losing value every day I'm in it. So I just didn't know if I should move now or stay a little bit longer and pay it off and then move, or what your take on that might be.
Yeah. So would you build on your land if you got rid of it?
I think I would just sell the land and the home package deal.
And just start fresh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. Well, I mean, the bottom line is what's the thing worth today?
About 100.
Including the land, right?
Yeah, correct, including the land. I owe about
And
65.
what's the land worth without the thing on it?
Probably 12 to 15,000.
Okay. So this is an expensive trailer.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we bought a brand new in 15.
Okay. Yeah. So you got like $70,000-$80,000 worth. Okay. So 10 years from now, that $70,000-$80,000 is not going to be worth $70,000 or $80,000. Agreed.
Agreed.
Versus if you had the exact same amount of property in a traditional home, it would go up in value instead of down in value. Agreed.
Yeah, that's my main reason for wanting to get out of this.
Yeah.
I just now listening to you, I realized that.
So really delaying it or getting it paid off just means you're going to lose more money. So, I mean, there's no emergency. Nothing's on fire. But I'm going to start talking about having this thing out of my life in the next 12, 14 months.
That was my plan. I just wanted to kind of get your take on it because, like I said, I should be out of baby step 2 this summer, and then I won't have any other debt. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm not a snob. This has nothing to do with I hate trailers or something like that. That's not the point. Or mobile homes or manufactured housing, whatever euphemism you want to put on the thing. What I don't like is owning things that go down in value when I have an alternative to spend very similar dollars into something that goes up in value. And so that's what it comes down to. And so, people in mobile home, why do you hate us in the mobile home business? I don't hate you. I just think your stuff goes down in value. I mean, it's pretty simple. And so, I don't want to, and I'm not going to tell people buy stuff that goes down in value.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine owns a huge mobile home business.
And
He's
you
in
still
the
wouldn't do it even if you pay cash for it, right, Dave?
Yeah, it goes down in value.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes down in value. So why not pay cash for, the something that goes up in value?
That was very big where I grew up at in the country.
Absolutely, they're everywhere. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And so it's not a snobbery thing. It's just a matter of mathematics, and just goes. One goes up in value, one goes down in value. Choose A. It's that's choose the right choice. Yeah, and that's what he's doing. That's all he's talking about.
Yes, sir.
So it's not a matter of we're angry at someone like that or something, but it's honestly cheaper to rent.
It is
than it is for the thing to go down in value and pay payments on it. Whew, like a car you sleep in. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career.
You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. We're taking your calls and your questions. Rebecca is with us in Johnson City, Tennessee. Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Okay, my husband and I have paid off around $70,000 to $80,000 in debt.
Great.
We have our fund, so we have made it to step 4.
Good.
Congratulations.
And here trying to calculate and get ready to work our budget up so we can put money aside. So we were wondering, do I need to make that 15% out of my gross pay?
Yes.
Or should I be looking at my net income?
Your gross.
Okay, so that includes my TCRS, my 403, and all that.
Well, I mean, that's how you would spend the 15% in your retirement planning. But we're going to say, what's your annual income in your household? What is it?
About 100,000.
Say again?
About 100,000.
Okay, so it's $15,000.
Okay.
Now, how are we going to get there? And the way you would get there is you first use any matches. Do you have match at either place? Your husband's or yours?
Not much.
Well, do you have a match or not?
Yeah.
Well, it's a $10 is all the 403B does.
$10.
They match at $10.
Yeah.
Why? Why bother?
My husband's here with me, so this is Thomas who's also talking.
Okay. Hey, Thomas.
We are both school teachers.
Okay.
And we have we have our TCRS,
right?
State retirement,
right?
Both of us, and we have a 403B.
Yeah.
That's a school $10 a month on. So that's the extra comes out of there. So you're talking a school board matching $10 a month, which is insignificant.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
So,
Yes.
Yes.
It's insulting.
It's
okay. So all right. So well, what we tell you is do match first, Roth second. So before I did a 403B, I would max out both Roths, which will get you close to your $15,000. How old are you guys?
I'm 53 and she is 46.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can do. If you're over 50, you can do 7,000, and so we're going to do 7,000 for you and 6 for her. So that's 13 of the 15, and so you only need to be putting about 2,000 over into one of your 403Bs and put that in good mutual funds annually. And that's how we get there. We're going to go match first, Roth second, traditional third is the way we work our way down through the 15,000 to get there. And so we're going to do 2 individual Roth IRAs in good mutual funds with a SmartVestor Pro. Sit down and get that started. And then above that, set up a couple $100 a month going into your 403B out of one or both of your checks, $100 each. I don't care it doesn't matter. And pick out a good mutual fund or a single mutual fund would be fine on that small an amount.
Yeah.
In that 403B and get going. And 403Bs they are notorious for not having great investment options in them. So be poking around and searching in it. A lot of them have a bunch of junk insurance products in them instead of actual investments. And so you got to really look and poke around, figure out what your possible options are. But we're looking for good mutual funds, growth stock mutual funds that have long track records. Yeah. And certainly the same thing for your Roth IRAs that we're talking about funding. And that's how you calculate it.
And then also, too, Dave, now that's for someone who has like a stable income, someone like yourself and myself, probably more so like me, whose income is fluctuating. Some seasons I have high, some seasons I have low. I tend to do monthly. So whatever I'm getting gross monthly, then I'll do 15% of that until I max out all my other retirement accounts.
Yeah, and you set a baseline on an on an automatic draft if you want to.
Yes.
And then you can just add manually to it to hit your monthly 15% if you're doing that. If you got some volatility in the income.
Yes.
But a couple of teachers, that's superbly predictable.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you'll be able to figure out exactly what it is. And, we're dealing with $100,000, so we're dealing with $15,000, and we just figure out what that is and lay it out that way. But it sounds like each of you do a Roth plus maybe $100 each in your 403B. That'd be like $2,400 a year. And that would get you there.
Yes,
That gets you to your $15,000. That's what we're after. Brandon is with us. Brandon is in Yakima, Washington. Hi, Brandon. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Nice to meet you.
You too. How can we help?
Well, I was one of the geniuses that thought it was a good idea to take out a loan against my 401k to pay off the higher interest credit card debt.
Okay.
And I am currently 31, and I wanted to know if also this would be the largest debt I currently have. But due to the loss of the gains that I would have gotten, I was wondering, would it be better to move this debt up on the list and start paying it back quicker to regain those losses faster due to the type of debt it is?
Yeah, nah. How much do you owe on it?
$12,000.
Okay. And how much other debt have you got?
I have about $36,000 to $40,000 total. That's including my student loans as well.
Okay. And what's your household income?
My net is around $3,600 a month.
So you're making what, $60,000 year?
I think it's closer to 54, 55.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Yeah. Good. Yeah. All right. So you're making 55. How fast are you going to pay 36 off?
That's easy.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
If you're making 55, how fast are you going to pay $36,000 worth of debt off?
According to the Baby Steps app, 5 years or 6 years. Sorry.
No.
No. Mm-mm. No. You failed.
Right.
Failed in the use of the Baby Steps app.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: $18,000 a year will be done in 2 years.
There you go.
That's $1,500 a month. And you got to get in complete attack mode. Yeah, what you plugged into the Baby Steps app was minimum payments.
Exactly.
And no extra payments on your debt.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep paying minimum payments and you get out in 5 years, I'd be surprised. But you need to be paying. You need to come out of pocket of $1,500 a month in payments.
And Brandon, you're single, you're young. I'm gonna say it, man. Man up. Go get you an extra job. You could be out of this thing about a year and a half if you really want to get out of debt.
Yeah. That would be good. That'd even be better.
Yes.
And the point being that if it's a very short period of time, then the loss of gains on your 401k loan are not going to be significant because you're not going to be out of it that long. You're going to get there really, really fast. But you need to be done in 2 years, and then that makes your question less pertinent because you're not going to be out of the investments for very long. But turn up the heat, baby.
Let's go.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Becky is with us in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hi, Becky. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. Yeah. What's up?
So my husband and I are currently in baby step number 2. We've paid off about $11,000 of our $42,000 debt since August.
Good.
We're planning to make a move from Pennsylvania to North Carolina in July.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, should we halt baby step 2 or put money aside through the budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to have to. It's not halt baby step 2. It's just stop everything and pile up cash for the move.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we do plan on selling our house here to make a profit on there and then renting when we go down there until we can make a, substantial down payment. So I didn't know if we should use some of the profit from the house or...
Well, when you sell your home and you make the move, then that gives you the cash to pay off all the debt, right?
Right. Correct.
Yeah, you're debt-free then, and you go on and you restart your baby steps when you land in North Carolina. But you're probably going to need some cash to make this move, and we've got to get the house sold.
Correct.
And Becky, here's a key thing too. I really want you to do is on baby step 2. I want you to hear what Dave said. He said, pause. Stack up cash. Now, for me, that means budget. Do the research. Identify how much money you need. So if you need, let's say, for an example, 10 grand to make the move, once you get to 10 grand, go ahead and go back on to baby step number 2 and just start attacking that debt because you have the cash stacked away.
Yeah, and then, of course, when the house sells, you write a check and pay off everything. So it's a good move. That's fun. Good for you guys. Yeah. Brian is with us. Brian's in Memphis. Hi, Brian. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Yes, sir. Me and my wife were blessed enough to find your program back in August, and somehow I talked her on board, and we're on baby step 2, rocking and rolling. We've gotten rid of $66,000 in debt since August.
Wow.
Yes,
good for you, man.
Sir. Yeah, we're out for blood.
Well done.
Yes. My question is about, we ended up with 2 mortgages. We outgrew a home, bought a home before we sold our other home. And where I'm at with it is I owe $43,000 on the home, and we tried to sell it. The realtor said it was worth about $90,000. We had it on the market for about 8 months with 0 interest in buying and overwhelming interest in renting it. So we kind of just got tired of carrying the house and decided to rent it. But our renters are getting ready to leave. And my next question is, how gazelle intense should I be on getting rid of this thing without just doing something stupid as far as, putting a $90,000 home up for sale for $43,000 just to get rid of it?
Well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. You're not being foreclosed on. There's no reason to give it away. So you have one of 2 problems or both. Your house was priced too high, or your realtor's a doofus?
Definitely number 2 is true.
Okay. Yeah. Which may mean the house is priced too high, too. I don't know. I mean, you got 0 interest of any kind. I'm thinking it may not be a $90,000 house. It might be an $80,000 house. But we know it's not a $43,000 house.
Okay.
So jump online at DaveRamsey.com and get in touch with one of our ELPs for real estate. They're high octane, high protein, and they're going to shoot you straight. One of the ways that a real estate agent is an excellent real estate agent and moves a lot of volume is they don't take listings that are overpriced. Okay. They take listings that are priced to sell, not to give away, but they're priced properly. And they don't. The seller doesn't get to decide that in the sense that you get to decide it. It's your house. But I mean, you look at actual statistical evidence called a comparative market analysis, an appraisal on the property that the real estate agent does, showing you comps in the area, and you look at that and go, this house does not need to be listed at 90. It needs to be listed at 82.5, and then it'll move, or whatever it is. I don't know. But I think that's what's happened to you probably. You could be just a little bit off and just enough off that you ran off, because what happens is people give you the eye roll when they see your price.
Right.
But I don't think you need to give it away. I would just start fresh with a good real estate agent and get good information, and let's price it right. Yeah. And the spring's coming, and it's going to be a great spring. Real estate's hopping, man.
It really is. I'm doing the same thing. That's what I would do, Dave.
Good. Cool.
I love it.
Alex is with us in College Station, Texas. Aggieland. What's up, Alex?
Hey, Dave. Hey, just a quick question. Excuse me. So my wife and I will be debt-free by the end of the year. So it's a little bit forward thinking, but I kind of overthink things. But after we get debt-free, our next plan is to be saving for a house.
Good.
But that's not looking like for another about 4 years.
Why?
While she gets through school and while she's able to get her degree in teaching and become a teacher, and then we're looking to buy after that, just in case we move. I have a really flexible job. And so we're just looking to see what would be best. Should we start investing some? We're both 25, 24.
Yes.
Or should we hold off and just pile up money for a down payment?
No, you're too young. And you're waiting for 4 years. I don't want you to go 4 years without investing, Alex. Now, what you can do, invest 15%, and while you're investing 15%, going ahead and start saving a little bit. Now, once you all find where you are, I don't have a problem with you pausing a little bit to save up aggressively for a down payment. But right now, I want you to take advantage of your age, of this season, invest the 15%. You can start saving some extra on the side, and then when you all get there to about 30, find your home, your city, then you can pause to aggressively go after your down payment. But please take advantage of your age and time and investing right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's well done. So what I would do, Alex, that is follow that plan, but just look out there a little bit and say, okay, today it's 4 years, but a couple of years from now, you look up and you go, okay, it's 2 years. And we're kind of thinking by then we want to be over in X or Y city. And you start really kind of dialing in your details and you go, okay, 2 years out, I might stop and pile up cash and get ready for my down payment at that point. But right now, I'm with Anthony. Let's get started on the investing. You got plenty of time here, and you can always start and stop and that kind of stuff if you need to. You may be able to save your down payment beyond the 15% and never stop it. That's a possibility, too.
I like that.
And, if you just keep working on it and pushing along. Now, obviously, we're doing this while she's in school, he's working, so we're on a pretty tight budget, my guess is. You probably don't have a lot of room in this, but that's not a bad plan at all. Well done. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thank you for joining us, America. Now, how many of you guys are stressed out or you're hurting because your retirement savings took a major hit last year? Well, it only took a major hit last year if you took it out at exactly the wrong time. See, yeah, maybe you're super close to retiring and you're wondering if you should work a few more years. Maybe you're trying to figure out this overall situation and say, I don't know what to do with my investing. So you need a pro in your corner to coach you. And it's not to tell you what to do. I don't do what the ELP or the SmartVestor Pro tells me what to do. I learn from them, and then I make a decision. Now, they'll have a suggestion, probably, but this is not my guy tells me what to do with my money, and I blindly follow my guy. You don't do that. So if you want to learn to invest or you got questions about your retirement, text INVEST to 33789. Find an investment pro in your area. Never again face a global crisis alone. Text INVEST to 33789. Invest to 33789.
And David, I want to say this too to America. When you do that, text the word back, you're going to get like 3 to 5 SmartVestors from us who are highly qualified individuals. But let me say this, interview all 5 of them and see who works best for you and your family.
Yeah. Maybe just personality.
Yeah.
What do you connect up with? And what you're always looking for with financial people, whatever kind of financial people it is the heart of a teacher. You're always looking for someone that's teaching you. And you'll know you've got someone with the heart of a teacher because you don't feel slimed. You don't feel sold. You've learned something every time you have a conversation with them.
Yes.
And that's what you want to do. You want to be around people teaching you something so that you can make better decisions with your money. This is how this works. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. 8225. Kyle and Caitlin are on the line in Reno, Nevada. It says on my screen you guys are debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well done. How much have you paid off?
About $75,000.
Cool. How long did this take you?
16 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
About 97 to 106.
Good. What do you guys do for a living?
I am a second grade teacher.
And I'm a wildland firefighter.
Awesome.
BLM.
Wow. What a year you guys have had. And, man, COVID and fires and everything else, huh? So $75,000 worth of what kind of debt?
That was a truck and then 2 student loans and some medical bills.
So you're kind of normal.
Yeah.
What happened? What got you started?
Well, we were doing our taxes and we realized how much money we made and that if we actually buckled down, it would take us no time to get rid of our debt. And before we started, we were doing Dave-ish and we were already putting money away, but we weren't really attacking our big debts yet. And we kind of just wanted to be in control of where our money went. And so we started to do our budgeting and got our money on track.
And then, so you just basically did the budget and took off, huh?
Yeah, Dave, I've been listening to you for a little bit here and there. And when she said Dave-ish, I mean, we were paying more towards the loans, but we weren't like doing full gazelle intense. And when I sat down to our taxes and I was like, hey, love, we could do this pretty darn quick if we just sit down and go to the grind for it.
So right before he asks you to do something difficult, does he always call you love, Caitlin?
he knows how to do it.
That's my intro.
I love it. Hey, throughout this journey, you guys, I got to ask, what was one of the hardest things, going throughout this process, and seeing your taxes, but after that, what was the most difficult part of getting out of debt?
I think it would just be staying on track. I mean, you see others doing the things that you want to do or, going out to eat and just holding each other accountable and keeping goals in mind because we saw the end goal. And so we had to just keep reminding ourselves of that and not trying to live like everybody else was living.
And I think one of the things that I like doing a lot of projects. Yeah. And we were kind of on a newer house to us when we moved up here and from Flagstaff, Arizona, and a lot of yard work needed to be done, and I'm a big project guy, so I definitely had to hold off my projects and do a lot of drawing and sketching of what I wanted to do after we paid everything off.
Yeah, that's good. Well, it gives you a reason to push on through then. Yeah. That's cool.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
That's good. Very good. So how does it feel now that you're free?
Oh, man.
It feels great.
I mean, it's just nice to, now that we're on 4, we got through 3, 4, 5, and 6. I mean, money's going to the kids' college. We're putting the 15% in and going towards the house, what we have left, and just being able to go out and do some things that we weren't able to do before.
Amen. Wow. That's cool. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is? Now that you did it, what is a big way? Somebody listening, they go, okay, I got $75,000. I want to do that in 16 months. How you do it?
Well, just be on the same page. And even when you're not on the same page, just communicate about it. There were definitely times that we, disagreed or got on each other's nerves, but we at least talked through everything. Yeah. And we held each other accountable, like we already said. But two of the biggest things is, first of all, the budget and sticking to it and really knowing why we have money going where it's going. And then celebrating small milestones. So along the way, we kind of broke up our chunk of budget into 4 pieces. And every time we hit one of those pieces, we had something to celebrate. And it kind of kept us going.
Yeah. And those celebrations we had, honestly, it was nice it was before COVID, but when it came down to it, we had one celebration we were going to go do a little staycation, and it didn't end up happening. It just didn't fall in the books and planning, and so that extra money we were going to spend on that went back to the debt.
Boom, here we go. Yeah, game on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
So what's next? I mean, you guys are already investing. You guys are already investing into your kids' future. What's next? How do you celebrate this? You know, now that you can take your feet off of the pedal, how do you really enjoy it?
Well, right now we're trying to save for a newer Suburban. And, man, vehicles are expensive.
Yes, they are. That's the truth.
Especially Suburbans.
And when you actually pay for them, you realize that more, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, I've just been keeping my eye out and looking for the right deals. I'm always shopping around, and, man, it is impressive how expensive they are.
Well, great job, you guys. Great job. We're very proud of you. And the kiddos have been involved. What are their names and ages?
We have Mia and Emmeline, and they are almost 5. They're twin girls.
Oh.
And then we have Watson, and he is almost 9 months.
Well, he's a big help.
Yes.
Yeah. You know it.
I love it. Well, they're cute. We got a picture of them popping up on YouTube here, so we're seeing them. This beautiful family. Well done, you guys. Very, very well done. Excellent, excellent job. So, all right, we got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. And Kyle, Caitlin, Mia, Emmeline, and you too, Watson. $75,000 paid off in 16 months, making 97 to 106. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
That's how it's done right there. Man.
Wow.
That's powerful.
That is.
Good job, you guys. Great job, you guys. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thomas is in Dallas. Hey, Thomas, how can we help you today?
Hey, Dave. How are you doing?
Great. What's up?
I just want to say this is an honor. I mean, me and my mom have been listening to you for so long, and we also learned about you in school now. I'm 17. I've been trading stocks since I was in about 7th grade. I've been profitable the last 2 years. It took me about 4 years. But I'm going off to college pretty soon to play baseball on an athletic scholarship, and I don't think I'm going to have time to trade stocks to make my money. And I've came up with the conclusion that I should open up a Roth IRA and just start feeding that monthly while I'm in college and just have that grow and pick individual stocks and not so much conservative stuff because I am on like the younger side and I still have time to grow my money. But I was just going to ask if that was a smarter way to go about it when I'm in college, is just putting my money in my Roth and just having it grow for me over the 4 years.
Oh man, I'm gonna jump in before Dave jumps in, man. I like you, young man. Yeah, I could tell you're really thinking about the future. There's two things I'm gonna say. One thing, I think investing into a growth stock mutual fund covered by IRA is a great option. I do not want you to do individual stocks when I know you've been doing individual stocks coming up to now. But I want you to trust the growth stock mutual fund. But before you really jump into that, I really want you to step back and just really make sure that you understand you're the number one investment. I get it. This younger generation really wants to get into the money, really want to see wealth. That's great. But the number one asset that you have is your mind. It is you. Okay. Then it's your money, which is your tool. But for yourself, make sure that you're graduating debt free, which sounds like you will. But then make sure you really understand your why behind life. You know, where are you going in the future? And then once you really have yourself established and you've invested into yourself, then yes, we can start looking into the money. But the IRA, growth stock mutual fund, perfect route for you at this age, and guaranteed where you're going, you'll be a millionaire before you even turn 45, 50 years old.
Yeah. Thomas, I don't buy single stocks. I've been doing it a long time. And 78% of the day traders lose money. That's 8 out of 10. Those are not good odds, son. Stop that. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Matthew 11:28 and 30. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. So, Anthony, I saw a better MLK quote. That's one of my favorites. I use that one all the time. But I hadn't seen the one that you posted on your Instagram, and I just saw it a while ago when I was thumbing through here. Let me see if I can find it. You have it memorized? But there it is. Nope, that's not it. There's MLK quotes all over Instagram. What am I thinking? Of course there is. That one I just did is on there.
You talking about when I just posted?
You posted it earlier this morning, I think.
Yeah, let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred.
That's it.
Yes.
And strength to love, I guess it came from that probably.
Yes.
Yeah, because that book is all about his passive approach, non-violent approach to protesting.
Yes.
And to anything, for that matter. He was a devout pacifist. And it's a very interesting read. If you've not read that book, folks, I strongly recommend it.
Yes.
But the strength to love is powerful. And for somebody like me that tends to just, I'm passionate. I get fired up. And I just bust something in the nose, you know. And for somebody like me, it's good to read something like that to offset some of that and go, okay, you need to calm your butt down.
That's me, Dave, too. I needed it.
Yeah.
It was a great book just to remind me that you can have strength, but how do we turn that into love in a loving, kind way? And at the end of the day, love speaks louder than hatred and then violence. So
there you go.
That's good.
There you go. Good stuff. MLK Day. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Looks like Alicia is next in Omaha, Nebraska. Hi, Alicia. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Great. How can we help?
So I just finished my master's degree.
Congrats.
And my husband and I, thank you. We were debating possibly refinancing our house and doing a cash out to pay off our student loans.
No.
No. How much are your student loans, Alicia?
They're about $50,000, and we have $90,000 to $95,000 in equity in our house.
Cool. I'm not worried about the equity. I don't want you to do that. What's y'all's household income?
$65,000 a year.
Okay.
What's your master's degree in?
To be a certified nurse midwife.
Okay. So you haven't started that career yet?
No, I just graduated about a month ago.
Oh, okay. So we're talking really, you've primarily been working on your education. He's primarily been the breadwinner. Is that correct?
No, he's a stay-at-home dad. I work full-time as a nurse.
Oh, okay. So do you anticipate your income going up as a result of this master's?
Yes. It should go up to about 90.
Okay. That's good news. Okay. Yeah, what I would do is just exactly what Anthony said. I'm just going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to get rid of these student loans. Here's the thing. If you became permanently disabled, the student loans are forgiven. If you pass away, the student loans are forgiven. None of those are true if you go borrow on your house to pay them off. And it's a good thing to just work through and be done with this debt and not do damage. When you move debt over onto your house, you feel like you did something and the debt just stays there instead of getting it reduced and your overall net worth going up as a result. So the great news is your income's getting ready to go up 30-something%. And I'm going to use all of that and any other money I can squeeze out of this budget.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get rid of the student loan in about 18 months.
So, AKA, in a different way of saying it, when you get your raise, you don't have a raise. You know, you're still gonna live.
There you go.
You know, when you get your raise, when you get the income, it's not yours. It's going all towards that debt, and you're going to live that lifestyle and live with that mindset until you pay it all off. Trust me, you do not want to put that over to your house.
Yeah, because it's going to hang around forever that way.
Yeah.
Open phones at 888-825-5225. Christiana is with us in Houston, Texas. Hi, Christiana. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Mr. Ramsey?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Yes. My husband and I, we are trying to decide what to do with the chunk of money that we are projecting to get. We think that we have $66,000 left on our mortgage. That's the only debt that we have. And we believe that we can have that paid off by the end of 2022. And so we were wondering if the money that will be coming in up until that point to pay off the home, if we should go ahead and pay off our house, or if we should take that money and do something else with it. And that is something we're not sure. We don't know what would be wiser.
How much are you expecting?
We're expecting probably $100,000 over the course of the next 2 years.
So you could be debt-free by the end of the year.
Right.
No, over the course of 2 years.
I know.
I think we'll have $50,000 this year and then $50,000 next year.
Yeah, but you only owe 66.
Right. What's your household income?
Right. It's just my husband's income, so it's $90,000.
Yeah, so y'all could be debt-free by the end of the year. If you get $50,000 and you add another, $16,000 on top of that, you're debt-free, right?
Not sure.
Didn't you say 66 was your mortgage?
Yes.
Okay. 60. If you get 50 and throw it out, that leaves 16,000, right?
Right.
And if you were to cash flow the 16,000 out of your budget in 12 months, that's a little more than $1,000 a month. You'd have the house paid for. But if we're off a little bit, I mean, we'll call it 14 months, right?
Right.
I mean, whatever fits in the budget. But the answer is wherever you are on the baby steps is where you throw all money. Mm-hmm. And where you are is 4, 5, and 6, and 4 is 15% of your income going into retirement. I'm assuming you're doing that, correct?
Already done.
Good.
Yep.
You have children, and you're saving for college?
That's correct.
None. Okay, so we skip 5. Then any other money that comes, we throw it at 6 until the house is done. When the house is done, then we can move on, and we're at baby step 7 at that point, max out all retirement, and the point there is just to become very wealthy and outrageously generous and live and give like no one else, because that's what you've done. You've done a great job, by the way.
Absolutely.
This is absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
But if I'm in your shoes, I can see it. It's right there. It's only 66,000. I'm just going to pop that thing, man. I'm going to hit it in the head and kill it.
Yeah, I like
just get it done. Get it done. Get it done.
Dave, you want to give me a bonus of $100,000?
No. No, Anthony, your raise is just like mine. Your raise works exactly like my raise works.
I mean, hey,
it's effective when you are.
You're right. You are absolutely. I was trying to be effective right there and ask the question.
Yeah, but it's just random. Just a random lightning bolt right here in front of 17 million people. Oh, that's fun.
That's real fun.
I will give you $100,000 as soon as you sell 100,000 of them books.
Hey, man, listen here. Right. That's
kind of built into your plan. You'll probably make a little more than that, but that's good.
I'm grateful.
So, people, we need 100,000 of you to buy debt-free degree because Anthony wants a raise.
Amen. Hallelujah.
There we go. Thank you, Jesus. We have a worship service right here at the end of the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's
fun.
That's
amazing.
That's neat, though. Making 90 and get 100,000. Oh, it's over 2 years. But still get $50,000 bonus.
Yeah, I mean, that bonus is some people's salary.
Serious. Well, yeah. For real.
She's blessed.
More than I've made in a lot of my years. I know that.
Absolutely.
Wow. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, her bonus is more than I was making as a youth pastor. Oh, that gets me upset.
Yeah, youth pastors are renowned for their income.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a tough job, man.
It really is.
You have teenagers and no pay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
Oh, I don't miss it. I mean, I miss it, but I don't miss it.
You said that out loud.
I just got in trouble.
You were thinking that, and you let it come out of your mouth. I don't believe you did that. Oh. That puts this hour of the Dave Ramsey Show in the books. Thanks to James Childs and Kelly Daniels in the booth, taking care of business back there, making sure this show works. I'm Dave Ramsey. That's Anthony O'Neill. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.